Monday, September 11th. The Dome Foamers podcast is back. And I'm your host, Christian Kruger, here as always with Neil Mieski and Brian Dorton. And we are just lifelong Astros fans that love to talk about the Astros. So, boys, let's go. All right, episode 20. We've been waiting for this one. Real quick, I want to acknowledge our title sponsor because they've been good to us. So our title sponsor is Two Gringos Chupacabra Rub and Season All. Two Gringos makes the finest rub, salsa chips, jerky, and marinade you've ever tasted. If you haven't tried their products, please do it today because you do not know what you're missing. The main thing you need to know about Two Gringos Chupacabra products is that they are so good because they use the finest ingredients and never, ever take shortcuts when it comes to quality. This is why we are proud to have Two Gringos Chupacabra as our title sponsor. You can find them at your nearest grocery store in your area or on their website at twogringoschupacabra.com. That's the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. Thank you to them for being our title sponsor. They've got some great products. Go check them out. Tell them that
For sure.
you heard about them on the Dome Foamers podcast. Boys.
Hey, CK, today was Meatloaf Day here at the Dorton house. And
all right.
Guess what we fired on that meatloaf coming in there?
Some Chupacabra?
You better believe it.
I love it. What
there is
what
none
brand?
Left. It's the black labeled season, the regular, just
season all.
Season all, yeah,
it's good.
It was on. It was on it.
By the way, the nice people at Chupacabra sent us product, and I still have yours because you were in the homeland. So I guess I need to ship that to you at some point.
That'd be nice because I used most of it today, but
all right.
Doesn't matter.
We'll get on. Yeah, we'll get on that this week. But they're great. Their stuff is the best. But what I've been using it for years now. They do a great job. So, episode 20. Can you boys believe that we've made it episode 20?
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
That's nuts.
Pretty crazy. The Astros are 82 and 62. A 5-1 week.
What?
5 in 1 week. 2.5 game lead. They are currently playing. We're going to talk about that later because I want to talk about the week first.
Let's get the good news out first.
Swept the team up north.
Oh.
And then took 2 of 3 with a Thursday off day from the Padres at home. Didn't realize we could actually win a game at home, but we did.
And scored some runs. Scored a bunch of runs.
Weird.
We set
at home.
We set records against the team up north.
Oh, I
do too. Temp check time. So Neil, let me have it. We're at the near end of the season. We got 3 weeks left.
Yeah, I mean, what a week. You know, we recorded last Labor Day in the afternoon prior to the start of that game, and that's coming off of us getting swept at home versus the Yankees. So obviously the mood was not very encouraging at that time, and to say any of us saw a 5-1 week, especially with the just pounding, like historical pounding that the Astros gave the Rangers. I don't think anybody could have, predicted that or seen anything of that nature coming. So what a great series for Astro fans. What a great series to just assert your dominance, over a team that you're fighting for positioning wise in the playoffs. And, I mean, kick the crap out of them, to put it nicely. And that was fun. That was really fun. And of course, all Astro fans were, oh man, yeah. And we're on a high, and we came home and of course you're anticipating that continuing, and we lost that first game on Friday. And then
Friday.
Yeah, and then finished off with 2 wins in fairly convincing fashion. Excited, obviously. You feel like we saw glimpses of a team that could win a World Series, but we also know that there's, not counting tonight, 17 games to go. So it's not like the hay's in the barn and this is a done deal. So excited, anxious, time's ticking. Time's winding down, and we've got every game is important. Obviously, the Rangers have struggled. The Mariners, I mean, we talked about their schedule. They're still on, or they're finished their long road trip, where they struggled on that trip, and allowed us to make some ground, and they came back. They took the flight from Tampa Bay to back home and playing the Angels tonight, and so. These last 2 to 3 weeks going to be exciting, and we're not used to that as Astro fans, having to jockey for position. But as far as just excitement goes, it's hard to beat right now.
All right, Jordan, thoughts?
Man, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think that these next few weeks are going to be exciting. I think that I mean, we're going to be watching in. If I have any predictions at all, it is that that last weekend of September, when we're in Arizona, we are going to be having several baseball games on, including our own, every single one of those days, and there are going to be a lot of changes that happen. I think there will probably be 1 or 2 changes in the division lead. I think there will be a couple of changes in who's going to be even in the wild card. I mean, we might see ourselves slip out of even wild card contention and then back into the division lead in as many as 4 or 5 games, And so
I hope you're wrong.
I do too, but
golly, man.
But I
Debbie
mean,
Downer.
No, I think this is very realistic. I think this is very realistic right now.
I do too, because how tight everything is.
And I don't think this is me being negative. I think it's just being realistic.
Sure.
But I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun few weeks of baseball for sure.
I agree with all that. Look, it's going to be fun because every game is going to be intense. I personally like it when we have a 10-game lead going into this. That's me personally, but that it's going to come down to that last series. But let's unpack the week first, and then we'll transition into kind of the last 3 weeks. So, Rangers, bye. See ya.
You're saying they're done?
No, I actually don't think they're done, but I think the Astros, they're not going to win the division. Mark it, put it down on this podcast. I've been wrong before, but I just don't see them. I don't see them leapfrogging with the way they've played and all the games they have left with the Mariners. And that's why I think that sweep was so huge. It sent a message. And it was a message like a haymaker, like 3 body blows and then an uppercut haymaker. They're fighting. I got to give them credit for that. And I think a lot of that is the product of their manager. They have one of the best managers in baseball, if not the best. So
I like them.
Well,
I do too. But I give them credit.
W tonight. They had a W tonight against
and it's against the Blue Jays. So
against the Blue Jays, and they put 10 runs on the board.
Yeah, that's why I don't think they're done. I just don't think they're going to win the West. And I've thought that for a while, but you guys know. But they're going to fight. But man, they've got some. I mean, they still have 3 more games with the Blue Jays. We'll get into that. Let's talk Astros. That was just really good to go into Arlington and beat them the way we did. Put them back in their place as little stepbrother, because that's what they are, and win the silver boot for the 7th straight year. Which, does it really matter to me? No. All that matters to me is the fact that we have a winning record against them. And what matters to me is that trophy that's behind Neil, and his picture, that he's got the World Series trophy. However, what I think is good about our record against the Rangers, I think might haunt us here at the end against the Mariners. The Mariners have the tiebreaker against us. We can't tie them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's going to get real interesting. I mean, if we end up with the same record, they get the higher seed. So that's going to be interesting. Why we have the advantage on the team up north, we don't against the Mariners. Look, what I loved about this week was the crooked numbers and all the runs we scored. Neil, I think you said this last week. You said that we don't know. And then you said in the temp check or your temp check, we were playing so bad against the Yankees. None of us thought we were going to flip the switch and sweep the Rangers and the way we did.
Right.
So now we come off this positive because we did respond. We laid an egg against the Padres, but then we responded with 2 wins to go 5-1 for the week, which is huge because we haven't done that in a while. And now, without giving up too much, we're laying an egg tonight. And so that's what's interesting is just the rapid, huge margins of difference that this team goes through.
Right.
But this has been the
you're right.
narrative
I know
the entire
all
year.
year. You're
All
absolutely
year,
right.
Yeah.
But those are the things.
That's the only thing.
That's
the only thing that's been consistent.
Is our inconsistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's worrisome in the fact of when it does come playoff time, you can't hit a bad slide. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and,
Oh, yeah.
and so there's a little bit of worrisome in that aspect. You know, I'm not saying like knock on wood that we're about to lose this series to Oakland or anything. I mean, we lost the first game to San Diego. You know, we got Verlander tomorrow, and then I think Brown on Wednesday, which that's a little scary. Maybe it's your Petey. But anyways, I mean, yes, in the last few years, you had no doubts that this team was built and ready and consistent. And they may stub their toe for a game, but like y'all are saying, this is there's some inconsistencies on a regular basis, and that's worrisome.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, Neil, but I think what you're getting at is we usually had an ace or two that we could roll out there that stopped, and we just do not have that right now.
Yeah, we don't have.
We do not have that.
Hey, Chaz just made an incredible diving catch in center, and I don't know how he does that, carrying all that weight and eating all that banana pudding every day.
Don't worry, that's coming up.
I have no idea how he makes that happen. Anyway,
what
sorry to cut you off.
Oh, gosh, yeah, Okay, we're gonna get back into that, but to back to what I just said about to Neil responding, like we've always had the ability to roll someone out there and shut a team down, allowing 1 or 2 runs, bullpen, let's go. We're if you look at the All-Star break and to current day as of today, I want to read something to you how this has shifted. This team is so different than last year. So since the All-Star break, the Astros have 7 players with an OPS over 900. Average major leaguer is OPS is around 700. So when you're approaching 850 and above, you're at a really great level, and 900 is getting to incredible levels. So I know y'all. I did not prep you for this before we started recording. Can y'all name the 7 players and in the order since the All-Star break? I know there's going to be there's a bunch that are close.
I know that. Well, okay. Well, Chaz has to be towards the top because he was listed today as one of the top outfielders, but that was WRC plus. But
it correlates a lot. I mean,
yeah. I would say Chaz would be towards the top. I mean, obviously Tucker is going to be up there. Jordan and Altuve, the big boys are going to be up there. Bregman, how many is that? 5. And then
Yanair,
Diaz for sure. And who would it be? Is it Pena?
No.
Abreu.
No.
Who am I missing?
Uncle Mike.
Oh,
But
fair
he
enough.
doesn't have the at bats for that yet.
No, but this is from the All-Star break, but he's still, I mean, since he's been here, his OPS is 973. So
I mean,
I'm gonna read. That's incredible. I'm
that's
gonna read
great.
the list in order. So since the All-Star break, again, the 7 players in the Astros, which is no one else is even. I don't think anyone's as close to this. Jordan, 1,039. Anyone know? Anyone want to guess who number 2 is?
Chaz.
No, Abreu. I mean, Altuve.
Altuve, 1,022. Then Chaz Kruger at 980. Tucker is 976. So for reference, how good of a year has Kyle Tucker had?
Yeah, salty.
Yeah.
Chaz's OPS is better than Kyle Tucker since the All-Star break.
I tend to remember people talking about him giving Shohan a run for the MVP. And not just from us. Not from us.
He still should because the Angels suck. Brantley, obviously in limited bats, is correct. But still, since he's been back, it's 973. Bregman is 966, and Diaz is 933. Those are incredible offensive numbers.
Those are
unbelievable.
Awesome. Those are awesome.
So it kind of we have a different MO than last year, where it was pitching and defense, and occasionally, we would score when we need to score, timely hitting. This year, especially in the last week, we've been pounding the baseball, tonight notwithstanding, which we'll get into in a little bit. That kind of, to me, shows the warts of the pitching staff. And
it's a good point. Good point.
I mean, those are insane. Those are might be better than Atlanta Braves since the All-Star break. I didn't check their numbers, and they've been destroying the baseball all year.
Yeah.
So that is my concern with these. Today, I believe we have 18 games left until this one's finished, and 17. My concern is that pace is not going to keep up, which we know. I mean, we know that. But we've got to have someone on the pitching staff step up and give us quality starts. Every time there's a quality start, and the next time around the rotation, it's not. And I mean, it is just a mixed match of lack of consistency on the mound.
Frustrating.
Very.
Because and it's really, and it's really frustrating in the fact of our back end starters, guys that pitched in playoff baseball last year, which we've kind of chronicled that these things may also be a factor in why they're struggling. Just some tired arms, but when specifically you're talking about Hunter Brown and Javier, I mean, guys who are our expectation level after last October with what they accomplished and how they accomplished it. I mean, it's disappointing. It's disappointing to watch us go, roll those guys out there and it not be to the standard that they have shown that they're capable of doing, right? And so, yes, the rookie season out of the way per se, and here they are. Hitters got a better idea what's coming and all that. I understand, but the fact that those guys are not at the elite level that we were maybe wanting them to be, it is frustrating.
Brown and France have thrown more innings than they've ever thrown in their careers.
Yeah,
sure.
They have tired arms. I also, as we talked about in the last podcast, Javier is totally battling that from the World Series run and all the extra innings, and then ramping up for the WBC, and he just looks tired. The problem is we can't give these guys any bit of a break because you have JV who doesn't go as long in games as he used to, and Framber, Urquidy. I mean, I don't want to talk about playoff rotation yet because we're not there, because we got to get there first. So I'm
Yeah.
really more concerned about the
Agree.
next 17 games. But man, there are some tired arms. And I mean, I don't
So
exactly know what we do moving forward.
let me ask y'all a question. And this
Okay.
is just a thought. And I was discussing this with a buddy the other day too. Of the series left, what gets us into the playoffs? Are we series wins, like win the series? Do we need to still sweep? Do we need to sweep?
Okay.
Do we need to sweep Kansas City at least one of those times? Do we need to sweep Kansas City
100%
twice?
on that.
Okay.
We
What gets
can't,
us there?
we can't. Okay. Great question. All right. So let's assume, again, I'm playing a game here, but let's assume with just FYI, we're probably going to lose tonight to a AAA team, which we'll get into in a little bit, but frustrates me to no end. So,
Oh, we just got 2 hits. Let's keep it positive, baby. Let's keep it positive.
Okay. Do you think we're winning tonight?
Let's see what Jordan does right here with 2 on, no outs. How about that?
Okay. What is bottom of the ninth and we're down 4-0?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so he needs to go tank right here.
Tank job would be fine. I'll be just fine with that.
I'll deal with it. That's fine.
Okay,
so but statistically, yes, we lose this game.
So that means we're 82 and 63, and we have 17 games left. So that, to me, considering who else we play, which is the Orioles at home, 3 games, Seattle on the road, 3 games,
which on the road is not a bad thing,
and Arizona. Well, normally I would say you're wrong. You're right this year, absolutely not. But still, their pitching staff. Okay, we'll talk about it. And then we end with 3 in Arizona. So that tells me we have those 3 series, which are not going to be easy, right? We all agree on that.
Correct.
So then you have 8 more games with the triple A's of the world and the triple Royals, the minor league teams, basically. You can only lose 1 more of those games. I think you have to go 7-2 to make up for the battles that are going to be in those other 3 series, in my opinion. So let's say we go 7-2. Okay.
7-2 in which
against the A's and Kansas
the
City.
A's and the 6 games against the Royals.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let's say, because I'm not sure we're going to, but I think you need to shoot for 7-2, and that means going 7-1 in the next 8 against these teams. Okay. So what do y'all think? Baltimore at home, Seattle on the road, and Arizona on the road. What do you think we need to go in those games realistically, considering who we're playing, to win the division? I don't even want to jack with the wild card. I want to win the damn division.
Yeah.
So I have us at the rest of the way, assuming whatever, win, lose tonight, whatever. I have us from a couple podcasts ago.
You can readjust. Now we've seen more.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
I guess does 94 still win?
That would be
talked about 94.
That's right. That's exactly right. I have it circled right here. That would be. So that would go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
So I have us at 11-6. So assuming we lose tonight, we stay at 82. So that puts us at 93. Okay, and so I've got the Rangers, who they won tonight. They've got 19 games left at that point. I have them still at 11-8. So we're okay. My numbers, right? The Mariners, I've got them with 19. Let me check that. 18 games left. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got them at 9-9.
So again, my opinion, right? I don't agree. I don't agree with the Rangers going 11-8. I think they're going to be worse than that, and I think the Mariners are going to be better than that. But that's just my That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, and I've got like when the Mariners and Texas play, I have them splitting. I have them splitting the last four
And it's-
games,
And it's 7
and then
games.
the last four I have them splitting, and then
Okay.
when they're at Texas, I have the Mariners winning 2 of 3. So what is that? 4-3 overall, or 4-2? No, 4-3. Um, yeah, 4-3 for the Mariners on that deal. Or is that right? Yeah, 4-3 for the Mariners. So do I think if this plays out the way I've got it, I see us as being okay.
Jordan, to answer your question, I still think 94 is the number unless someone just goes on a heater. But
Yeah.
I
Sure.
don't
But even if
necessarily
they go,
agree.
but
I don't
I
necessarily
think the
agree with
fact
how
that
Neil has it, just because that's his opinion, and I'll tell you what mine are in a minute. But I think 94 is the number.
I do too. And I think even if someone goes on an absolute heater, they still have to play each other. So
Yes.
we're, going on a heater
Well-
means someone is on an absolute rock bottom.
Well, I would really like the Astros to be the team that goes on a heater,
Hey,
considering
that's a good idea.
considering some of
fun.
the competition we play.
That would be fantastic. It would
Jordan
make
go?
some sense.
Did Jordan go donk?
No, he hit a absolute laser right to their AAA right fielder, and then Breggy got under it, little lazy fly ball. So
okay, Neil.
Here we go, Mother Tucker.
Neil, do you have the schedules for those two teams up?
Yeah.
Okay, so considering right now that the Mariners are closest to us,
Okay.
can you tell me their Mariners schedule for this week?
All right. So
just-
they've got the Angels at home. They won tonight. Or sorry, when I clicked back after we said that they were winning 3-0, it was 3-2, and now it's tied 3-3. So,
okay, so that game's on the ballot.
Baby.
Right.
Angels.
Go
Okay,
Triple
so-
Angels.
I mean, the reality is that the Mariners should win 2 of 3.
Correct.
Okay. They have a bye, and then they play the Dodgers at home for 3. I'm
Ooh.
calling that a 1-2 series.
That would be great.
I think the Dodgers win 2 of 3.
I'm never a fan of rooting for Satan, but in that instance, go Dodgers.
Right. So then you say the Mariners go to Oakland.
Yikes.
They're gonna win 2 of 3.
That could be a sweet job. Just FYI. It could be.
Yeah, it could be. Sure. Right, but I'm going to say that again. Any random night, Oakland can score 4 runs and you score none. I mean,
Yeah, we just got 3 hit by the Triple A's.
yeah, that
Sure
example
did.
that example works. Right,
Pathetic.
so I'm calling 2 there.
Okay.
All right, and then they go to Texas for 3. I'm saying that the Mariners win 1 of 3.
I like the Mariners winning 2 out of 3.
And it's possible, right? It's possible. I think this could be Texas's last ditch effort. They've got the Mariners at home, depending on who their rotation is, whatever.
Okay.
All right, so then they leave Texas and go home, and we play. The Astros play in Seattle. For the sake of the argument, I'm saying that Seattle wins 2 of 3.
That would be my prediction. Currently, would be my prediction. Yes, I would give the Mariners the edge, even though we play much better on the road. I'm giving them the edge currently.
Sure.
In that.
All right. And then they end with a 4-game series versus Texas at home, where I have it split for the time being.
Okay.
So my numbers.
So my.
1,
go ahead.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I said 9 and 9. Not counting tonight. Okay, not counting tonight's game. I don't know what that's going to be. 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
but let's
5,
assume,
6, 7,
but for
8,
the sake
9.
of the argument, let's assume they go 2-1 versus the Angels.
Okay, so then I have them at 10-9 the rest of the way.
Okay, so if they're 10-9 the rest of the way, I love advertisements on phones. 10-9, that would put them at 89 wins. Yeah, that ain't gonna get it done for them. I don't have them at 10-9,
No.
so I have them much better. So I have them 2-1 versus the Angels. I have them 1-2 versus the Dodgers. For
Yep.
sake of just trying to, because I have them
Worst
sweeping the
case
A's.
scenario. All
Yeah,
right.
I have them sweeping the A's. I have them 2-1 versus at the Rangers. I have them 2-1 versus the Astros, and I have them 2-2 versus the Rangers in that last series split. So I have them at
11-8.
3-6. Really? I'm only one game better than you? No.
Yep. You took the sweep in Oakland where I didn't. Or did you
No.
take two? Did you say they're winning 2 in Texas?
Let me just do them. I got it all. I wrote it down. 3-3-6. I have them going 12 and
12-7. So you had them winning 2 of 3 in Texas.
correct.
Okay.
So that would make them, yeah, that's not all around, just like yours isn't either. So that would give them 91 wins.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Rangers or Dorton, do you have anything what do you think?
No, I'm right there. I think the Dodgers are going to go into Seattle and wreck shop. They might get swept by the Dodgers.
Ooh, I hope you're right. I do. All right. So if they win 12, including tonight, I mean, total, that'll get them at 91. See, this is why having a lead is so huge because they got to chase you. That's why it's so nice us at least being on the front side, but we cannot tie them. That's the thing. All right, Rangers.
All right. Well,
so
one big tonight.
They go.
Yep.
Yeah, so they go. They've got 3 more at Toronto. Okay, I'm going to call that a split.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it a split for the.
That's what I think.
The fact that
I think they win one more, they lose 2.
If they would have lost tonight, I could have felt a little bit better about saying 3-1. But again, Toronto is a team that should be ashamed of themselves. I think they're way better than.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a split.
Okay. So they leave Toronto and they go at Cleveland. So for the sake of the argument, I'm going to give them 2 wins in Cleveland. I don't know that they do that, but so be it.
Okay.
I agree.
Right.
Okay.
You got to remember, Cleveland's done. So they're either going to be pack it in or they're going to fight. We don't know, but they're done.
Right. So then they go to Boston. I say they win 2 of 3 in Boston again to make this more difficult. That can go 2 and 3 either way. I mean, 2 and 1.
I think they're going 1 and 2 in Boston.
Okay. Then they come home and they play Seattle. I said that Texas would win 2 of 3. Their last ditch effort to.
Excuse me, and I was the other way. I was the other way.
Yep. Right. So then they play at Los Angeles. I'm going to say they win 2 of those.
Angels.
Okay. And then again, they go to Seattle to end the year, and I've got them splitting that one.
I do too.
And that's a 4 game, right?
Yes,
Excuse me. Okay. So I have.
So I've got them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So counting tonight, I've got them at 11-8.
I have them at 10-9. That ain't gonna get it done either. So
No,
we're doing this exercise, to prove the point where we just need to take care of our own business.
correct.
And we did not do that tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, this has
So-
been a auspicious start for sure. But
Now we can fix it real quick. But
we've seen what it looks like to fix.
I mean, does anyone think the Rangers? Does anyone think the Rangers go better than 11-8 like Neil has? I mean, seriously,
I
That's
don't
a
see it.
stretch.
I agree.
They sure as heck don't do it playing like they did last week. Unless
it's also the beauty of them playing the Mariners 7 times. I love it.
I do too. I mean, that's huge. Unless they had just a giant come to Jesus talk this morning, and this is the kind of result of that. I don't see them doing a whole lot better.
All right, so let's get into this week then, and then we usually do this at the end, but since we're talking about it, we lost tonight 4-0 3-hitter. I mean, I don't even want to. I was at baseball practice. Yeah. I was getting updates. If there's a game I'm going to miss, that was a good one. I can't believe that the A's, after what we've done this week, the A's can shut us down. But that's baseball. So, who's pitching tomorrow for the Astros?
So I have Verlander.
JV, right? Yeah.
Okay. So we have JV versus JP Sears, who has shut us down in a start before, and we've ripped a start before. So tough lefty. I mean, he is. So that's interesting. Okay. And then Wednesday, what do we think? What's out there? So Hunter Brown versus Paul Blackburn.
Yeah. And so my question is, did I miss your Queedy somewhere?
He came in the He came out of the bullpen. A couple days ago.
Yeah, he pitched in about the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So is he no longer a starter? Is that where we are?
Well, with every off day being a Thursday in the month of September, I think that's what they're just doing. I think that's what they've chose to do. Which, honestly, just speaking of just Urquidy, I think he needs to be in the bullpen because he actually pitches pretty well 2 to 3 innings, and then once he gets to inning 3 or 4, it's like whiplash. That's just me with my eyes. But I do think that's what he's going to be his role, Neil.
Yeah. Well, I
think it's a good role.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I almost think that he should be partnered with maybe Hunter Brown. I mean, 3-3 or 3 or 4-4 or however it plays out. But
yeah,
I'm not.
Something's up with Hunter. And Kruger, you mentioned it before. I mean, I think it has to do with the number of innings that he's pitched this year.
100%.
But boy, he's had some BBs hit off of him recently, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I've got Verlander and Brown, and then I'm assuming when we go to Kansas City, it turns over again. I mean, we're off Thursday, so this weekend
again. These are just projections. This, I mean, it's official, but it says Friday Javier versus Zach Greinke.
Yeah. Oh wow, Zach. Yeah. I mean, it turns over to Javier France and then Valdez Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't hate that matchup in Kansas City. I mean,
well, because we lost tonight, I don't think we're going to go 5-1. I don't think we're going to win 5 straight. And I just don't. I mean, we did last week, right? And we weren't projecting that, so it could have happened, sure. But I think we go 4-2. Hopefully, we go 4-2.
I mean, I personally, I had us losing 1 to Oakland. I mean, predicting a sweep is just it's rare, right? I mean, so I shouldn't say rare, but I don't think with what the Astros have shown us this year, that's not
You're
something that
all
you
that is
lock
fair.
in.
All that is fair. That's 100%. That's baseball. We know that, right? You could have. I'm being dead serious when I say this, and y'all know where I'm going. You could have started the Sugarland Cowboys tonight, and they could have won. That's what's frustrating about it. Is do I think they're going to go 9-0 first in these 9 games? No, I don't. But you lost the first game out against a team that you seriously could bring out the Space Cowboys and they could beat.
Would Brooksy's team would have gotten at least 5 hits? They might not have won the game, but gotten 5 hits.
Maybe 4.
Well, just maybe scored a run, been competitive.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah, these are 10-year-olds.
These are 10-year-olds. But they can get 5 hits. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we only scored 12 runs yesterday and none today. I mean, stop me if you've heard this before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I'm going to go back
on and
I'm going to go back to, I don't know, episode 3, where I'm going to say, let's win the dang series. Winning the series out, winning every series out. We don't have to worry about getting a 94. Done and done. Right?
Well, if we win 2 of 3 of every series, we land on 94.
Yeah. We're good.
94 and we win the West and we're in the division. That's just the number. Anything below that, you bring everyone back into play. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to project what we think the Mariners and Team Up North will do. But again, and we said this earlier, we need to focus on getting to winning every series and getting to 94 wins. And if one of those teams gets on a heater, then they get on a heater and we play for the wild card. But you got to get to 94. 94, in my opinion, you're safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the only thing I would disagree with is maybe not 94 wins you the division, but 94 gets you in the playoffs. You're dancing. You're dancing at 94.
It depends on the heater, right? It depends on, does somebody play above and beyond? And
I'll say this, Dorton. I'll say this. The winner of the West will not have more than 94 wins.
All right.
I think I just don't.
I think it'll be I think you're right, but well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's
possible.
Here's another negative. Here's another negative for Texas. From this point on, they have 1 bye left. We've got 3. We've got 3 byes still,
and they got to go to Seattle,
and
which is a long.
They have a bye and then Seattle. So when you lay out their schedule, they're the ones that are really behind the 8 ball. Seattle is tough, but their advantage point is, hey, we play Texas and we play Houston the last 10 games. If Seattle wants to win this, take care of business. I mean, as a Seattle fan, I would be saying the last 10 games is the do or die.
Can I say something about the Team Up North real quick? When Marcus Simeon,
please do.
I mean, we have so many Rangers fans that tune into this podcast, I'm sure. When Marcus Simeon did his little stunt at home plate in Houston?
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that.
I do.
Y'all remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
They have a losing record since that game.
Karma is a B word, is what it is.
A nasty one.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah, it's tough to hear.
So for all our Rangers fans that tune in, there you go.
Yeah, and really happy that he hit a couple of home runs when getting smoked last week. Yeah, good for him. Buddy. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're up by 12. I don't even care. Have fun, buddy.
Yeah, have fun. Take it and run.
All right. So anything else we want to tie before we kind of change directions here?
I think we nailed it. I mean, we got
Real quick though, I mean, so we are hyper focused on the Rangers in Seattle, but like, have we looked at Toronto? Like,
Well,
they're not.
I know one of us on this podcast a couple podcasts ago thought we were going to catch Tampa Bay.
I did. I thought we had a chance.
I even mentioned that. I mentioned
I was
that.
actually I was actually referring to Dorton.
Yeah.
But I think Neil agreed.
I thought there was an outside chance.
Sure. We didn't think we were going to get swept by the Yankees, and
true.
You know, it is what it is.
All right, let's see. Let me pull up Toronto real quick. It's probably not updated from tonight yet, even though they've already won. Lost.
They have 6. Yeah, no, they lost, but they have 3 more. They've got Boston, the Yankees. They've got Tampa Bay. Oh, they've got Boston. They've got Texas, Boston, and then Yankees, Tampa, Yankees, Tampa.
That's brutal.
That's rough. That is rough.
They're going 500 at best.
Texas, and this is at home. They have Texas at home for the next 3 games. Hopefully they take care of some business these next 3 games, and then Boston, and then at Yankees, at Tampa Bay, home Yankees, home Tampa Bay. That's tough.
Rough.
Wow. Interesting. Glad you brought that up.
I'm not. I mean, ultimately, winning the division matters the most, and then sliding.
I just want it for the bye.
I just want
to win the division for the bye.
And let me tell you, this is interesting too. That's their schedule now, and that's coming off. Here's been. You want to hear Toronto's September so far? Ready for this?
Yeah.
2 of 3 in Colorado, 2 of 3 at Oakland, sweep Kansas City. I mean, they're not playing terrible ball, and the losses that they took it was a 1 run, and then they got blown out by the A's 1 game, but then they killed them the rest.
Well, I'm gonna leave.
It's catching up.
The A's have 100 losses. That's all I'm gonna say. Already, that just leaves a sour taste in my mouth tonight. I mean, seriously, we better step up and not lose the freaking series. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's
all right.
Yeah.
Yes, agree.
Unreal. This team drives me crazy.
And for the record, by the way. For the record, and then we can move on.
No, go ahead.
Kansas City has 100 losses.
I know.
Oakland has 99. So
did you see what Zach Greinke's record is on the season?
No.
What is
1
it?
1 and 15.
Oh man, I love Zach Greinke. I will always love Zach Greinke. No matter who he plays for, I will love that guy.
I will love it. I will love him even more if he throws a dud when we play him.
Me too.
Well, I'd appreciate that. How about that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so let's transition to our Dome Phone Players of the Week. If you listened to the podcast last week,
you know that I get it first, right?
Sure, but I called dibs on somebody. But however, I'm gonna let y'all pick who you want. And I'm still going to stick to my dibs at the end.
Why don't you go first? Why don't you go first? You get to go first this time. You get to go first.
Last Monday, I did say that since he hit a jack or jacks he hit for the cycle last Monday, I think. And so right. I said that is that I got dibs on him for next week, and he basically went off. So pretty simple. He's the AL player of the week, by the way, with 6 home runs for the week, 8 RBIs. I think his OPS was 1,400. And mine is pretty simple that I would buy him beer. I'd buy him beer really every week. It's Jose Altuve for CK. Pretty simple.
Obviously.
It was
obviously.
nice to call it last Monday and him show up, and not only show up, but also be the AL player of the week. So that was cool. So who wants to go next?
Go ahead, D.
I'll go. All right. So I'll tell you who. Well, let me start with this. In the past 7 days, we've scored a lot of runs. Lots of runs. We've hit quite a few RBIs. Name that Astro who had the most RBIs in the past 7 days.
I bet you I know this. Is it a Brave?
Kruger?
It is.
It is. Jose, first
Only
base
because-
Abreu
Only because he had 7 in one game.
with oh, that's it. He only had 7 in that one game.
Yes.
Probably a better man would take Jose Abreu as his dome foamer of the week, but mine is going to actually go to Kyle Tucker for his 2 triples in 1 inning.
I know. That was crazy.
2 triples in 1 inning. Anybody that
Silly.
can get 2 triples in an inning, you deserve a beer that is purchased by me. So enjoy your dome foam, Mr. Tucker. Mother Tucker.
I feel like we've bought him a lot of dome foams this year. And it's a great pick. I mean, I want him to get to 30-30 so bad.
I do too. And oh yeah, and he's just stealing bases whenever he can get them.
Yep.
The non-triple that he had, I think it was last night, the non-triple that he had, he stole second, stole second, and then immediately stole third next pitch.
We did, and you text us, and absolutely, we're going to get into this at the end. I'll say it. I don't like him batting 5th. I don't like it at all. Neil, who's your dome phone player of the week?
So, I mean, yes, it is. It's Altuve. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, how do you not give it to him? But if I have to pick, just to make him fatter, I'm gonna give it to Chad. That fat rat bastard needs a beer.
A light beer.
No, sir. No. We are going like
Bud fat?
Many calories. I want him
Lone
to
Star
be just
Lone Star
fat.
Red. Lone Star Red?
That sounds amazing. So
Full fat.
I mean, seriously, when your manager calls you basically fat to the entire world, I want to drink a beer with you.
Did he call him that, or is this the back office? Front office, just kind of spreading a little bit of
Okay, that's a great point. So I agree with Neil wholeheartedly. Like, that can be so taken out of context, and I also agree with Dorton. There's some leakage going on out of the front office.
Yeah. Yes. Well, because all of this,
you mean like
all of this came
like
from
Chandler
Rome's. It was Chandler Rome's article in the Athletic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he even put all of these quotes on background, right? Like, so he got them from somebody in the front office, and they were not ready to put their name on this, but they were very ready to throw people under the bus.
There's some interesting things going on, and I totally think it's the dynamic of the friction of the front office to Dusty, because we know Brian McTaggart is the mouthpiece of the Astros to basically the world. I mean, he's employed by the Astros.
Right.
Okay. And next on that line for a lot of this after McTaggart is Chandler Rome, who's kind of a little bit of a rebel, you could say, but at the same time, he gets a lot of his stuff directly from the Astros, and he has leaked some things out this year that have been quite interesting. So someone is talking to McTaggart, and then someone else is talking to Rome. And I don't know exactly what to think about it. We don't have the time to unpack it here. It's very interesting. But to Neil's point, if we get up by 10 runs, can we please, tomorrow, next week, whenever it is, can we please see Maldi in center field? I mean, can we try that?
Yeah.
That would be incredible. I mean, I think it's plain and simple. I think we've seen it. If you have been on Astros Twitter at all in the past 3 weeks, and if you've listened to this podcast at all for the past 20 weeks, you know that Coach Dusty is probably one of the more divisive people in Major League Baseball, if not planet Earth. And what I mean by that is, like, the decisions he makes are very easy for people to pick apart. They're incredibly easy. And I think we're seeing a lot of that, not only from the fans, but from journalists and, more importantly, from front office staff. And now it's getting to a point where fans are becoming more and more and more vocal, which leads journalists to cover it a little bit more so they can get some more clicks. And now front office staff has no other choice but to say something on background.
That's a good point.
And I think that's where we're at.
It's a great point, and I wholeheartedly agree. And do you think that I brought out those OPS numbers from the All-Star break for my health?
Right. Yeah. No, I know. That's hence the divisiveness, right? Like,
yes, and he's third on the team. Like the two people. What I think is fascinating, both in how his play has been and disturbing, and how Dusty has mismanaged it, is the only two people above him from the All-Star break are Jordan and Altuve, who are having, I mean, it's unreal, and less at bats. But is it not? It's very telling that something is going on with everything that Dorton just chronicled, and also the fact that his playing time has gone down dramatically. And I looked back, and we all know about the horrible Yankee series. You know how many bats he had in the Yankee series?
I don't even want to know.
Did he? I know he had 0 starts, right? Did he start? He didn't. Did he start a game?
I think he started a game and got pinch hit for, and then he didn't play the other two. That was the pinch hit with Singleton. He had 3 at bats, and he had 3 at bats in the Yankee series.
I think one thing that you guys also are forgetting is that, I mean, much like Yanair, I mean, McCormick's still fairly young, and there's going to just be a day where we thank Dusty for this.
Oh,
I can't wait to thank.
Now,
listen, I can't wait to thank him.
Neil.
And as a resident of the Houston area, I can't wait to join my Houstonians in thanking him as well.
This is where Neil, just for the Dome Foamer listeners, this is where Neil does his notorious 40 years of stirring the pot. And this is where Dorton for 40 years jumps in the pot and helps stir to get me tweaked off, because they know that this tweaks me off. So I am going to disregard those comments, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to, dude, I could talk about it. I mean,
all right. Good try. Good try, Neil.
Yeah. Fair enough. I went fishing. I don't know.
You did. You always did. Next time, bring a bigger bait. So
he didn't take that bait.
No, dang.
All right, so we're going to move on. We're about to wrap this in, but we got to do I'm sorry, we just did our Dome Phone. We're going to do our throwback player of the week. And this is Neil's segment, since he was so nice to try to stir the pot on me. The throwback player of the week is sponsored by our friends at Victoria Equipment Auction. At Victoria Equipment Auction, our number one goal is to get you the best price for your equipment in a hassle-free and professional manner. Whether you are part of a large corporation looking to clear old equipment out of your inventory, or an individual interested in selling a single piece, Victoria Equipment Auction is ready to go to work for you. Just drop it off your equipment and they will take care of the rest. The great people there, VictoriaEquipmentAuction.com. We know Kenny and Kevin, as we say every podcast. And you can call Clay, who handles a lot of this, at 361-935-2444, 361-935-2444, or VictoriaEquipmentAuction.com. Neil, who is our throwback player of the week?
Well, I'm not necessarily done stirring the pot.
Shocker.
So today's throwback player of the week, and you'll see why here shortly. Well, it's Miles Straw.
Oh,
Why is Miles Straw our throwback player of the week?
tell us,
Well,
Neil, why would Niall Straw be
why would
throwback
Miles
player
Straw
of the
be
center fielder?
relevant?
Miles Straw.
What in the world? Yeah, this is weird, right? So Miles James Noble Straw. Yeah, he's so important. He's got
Noble.
4 names. Yes. So Straw, he was born in October 17th, 1994. Man, that's scary right there.
No.
94. He's from
we were
yeah.
roaming around a high school campus around that time.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
No doubt. So he comes from Florida, ended up playing his college ball at St. John's River State College, the ever famous one, of course. So he ends up being drafted by the Astros in the 12th round of the 2015 draft. And
What
at
round?
that time, he was the 12th, yes. And so he was actually planning on transferring. I don't know why you would ever leave St. John's River State College, but he was going to go to the University of South Alabama, but instead took the deal 12th round. So makes his run through the minors, finally gets called up in September of 2018. 2019, he's up at the majors, bats 269, 27 runs, 7 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, and 108 bats. So a small role player in 2019. 2020, bats 207, dropped significantly, 8 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and 82 at bats, right? And so he actually played 27 games in center field and then actually played a game at shortstop where he also kind of, I wouldn't say was groomed, but also was an idea at one point in time, believe it or not, to be Correa's replacement. And so in 2021, in July of that year, having a decent year, I wouldn't say he was an everyday starter, but he was a starter for us for a majority or a solid portion of the 2021 season. He ended up getting traded to Cleveland for 2 guys that are currently on our 40-man roster and currently at the major league level right now. One being Phil Maton, and the other one was just a minor leaguer at the time, and this guy's name is Yanair Diaz.
Hey-o.
Fleece job.
So, oh my goodness. So we give Miles Straw and I like Miles. I mean, and I
did too.
really
I
liked
really
him when
liked
he went to
Miles.
Cleveland. And well, I loved him when he went up in the stands against, I think it was the Yankee fans.
Yep.
And
I loved it. And
gave
he was not going to take anything.
No, love me some Miles Straw in that aspect. So, so we definitely got the better end of that deal, getting Phil Maton and Yanair Diaz, and that's the reason and for him being the minor league. I mean, the throwback player of the week is that some people may not remember that that's how we got our bench player that we're going to thank Dusty for one day, of Yanair Diaz. Not to mention Phil Maton. I mean, he's been a player for us. Yeah, I mean, he's been a significant aspect for this.
So can I give some context to this?
It's open-ended.
So we were after bullpen help.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil Maton, whatever,
yep,
was the actual piece that we truly wanted. At the time, they needed a center fielder. it is rumored. I'm sure it'll come back after we run him out of town, hopefully, that James Click basically traded Straw because he was tired of Dusty playing. That is, I mean, that I don't want to say it's fact because we don't have those documents, but that was the beginning of the end for the Click Dusty thing. Is Click? I'll say something about Click. He ain't afraid of Dusty, and
something that Dana needs to do.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're 100% right, which we've documented on this podcast. But they were after bullpen help, and so the Indians needed a center fielder, and so the basically prospect that they threw in was Yanier Diaz, which is fascinating to me that he wasn't even the true chip that we wanted at that time. Yeah, key piece. That's a great yeah. Now he's played a ton of minor league ball in the Astros. Miles Straw. I think his best friends are really close to Kyle Tucker. He's shown up at multiple playoff games when we were in since he's been traded.
Yep.
So Miles Straw, the person, I think it's pretty freaking cool. He
A+, yeah.
Greinke's threw him an ephus pitch earlier this year, and he laughed at Greinke, and then he came up to bat, like supposedly one of Greinke's favorite songs. The next time up.
Do y'all know what it was?
No, what was it?
No.
Neil? Do y'all remember what Greinke?
Idea.
Do you remember what Greinke used to come out? What his? I don't remember coming out to pitch.
No.
Seminole Wind
by John Anderson.
Yeah, and
why not?
Miles Straw changed his walk up music to that just for this for this game while Greinke was batting.
And they both laughed about it like before the bat.
Which is incredible because like the whole point was like getting any kind of a reaction from Greinke is apparently like if you can get a reaction, you
win
it.
You win.
Yeah,
you won. Yeah.
And not only that, but you got a reaction while he's on the mound. That was
and supposedly if you get a reaction from him, he acknowledges that you've won. Like he thinks it's like, okay, you got me.
That's
so awesome. Tip of the hat. Yeah.
Yeah. So from a person, supposedly he is a heck of a teammate and a heck of a guy. As a hitter,
mighty fast. He'd be pretty fast, but
he is fast. And
he's not as fat as Chaz.
He's not fat. No, he's not. But so the year before we traded him, we traded Jake Marisnick. We got rid of Jake. And so Straw was this guy that was going to, AKA, take over center field and be the guy. And it obviously just didn't last long. And then again, behind the scenes, it could have been Straw being a role player versus Straw being the starting center fielder. And then whatever between Click and Dusty, like you mentioned, came about.
So organizational, and then we'll wrap this up. That's a great one of what it leads to. I love it's so easy for us to do like 15-year career Astros. This kind of stuff I really like because of the story, the backstory. So
right,
and you brought in Rizzo. So they I think they didn't trade him Rizzo. They just didn't re-sign him. I think I don't remember. They traded Straw.
He was a part of a deal. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that tells you how much I remember about Jake Marisnick.
Sure.
So then Straw was supposed to be the stopgap for a while to get to Jake Myers, who was crushing it in the minor league.
Great point. Yep.
And so then when Myers comes up initially and has a little bit of success, that's when Click was like, play Myers, play him. And they trade him, get Yanier Diaz, get Phil Maton. And then, so obviously Myers gets hurt in the playoffs. And then here comes Fat Chaz, who basically was our fourth option in like 2 years. And it happens to have top 5 center fielder numbers in the entire freaking league of Major League Baseball. It's kind of a weird kind of timeline. And so I do think some of that Dusty is that petty where he holds that against Chaz because
I think you're right.
Click traded freaking Straw. But for all those out there that are listening to the podcast, if you want to listen, if you want to do comparison of Miles Straw's numbers compared to Fat Chaz, let me know. They're easy to find up. They're easy to find.
Yep.
Anything else?
You can't start Miles Straw. You can't tell me how to run my lineup. No, you can't start him because he plays for the Indians now.
Yes.
That's a conversation that needs to happen now, too.
Moneyball, that was a great reference. I know we did it on text. That's exactly what should happen now. That was a perfect scenario, and still one of the greatest scenes funniest scene in that show.
Yeah.
Neil, what do you want to wrap up with on throwback?
I was just going to say, so just to wrap that up, Marisnik was traded to the Mets in exchange for Blake Taylor and Kennedy Corona.
Wow. So Blake Taylor had some talent. I don't think Blake Taylor's ever going to amount to what he was going to be because of his injury. He's been hurt every year. He does have a good arm. Kennedy Corona has been a productive player in the minors. I didn't know he was part of the Marisnik trade. Interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
All right, boys. So, let's wrap this thing up. We've got 5 more games. We have 5 more games this week. So let's put it out there. We're 0-1 with that absolute debacle that we're not going to talk about tonight. So I'm going to go with Dorton first. We play 2 more games at home versus the Triple A's, and then off Thursday, and then 3 games against the Triple Royales. So, Dorton, what do you think we do for the rest of the week?
I'm going to, again, go back to week 2, and we are going to win both of these series 4-2. Let's do it.
I'll take it right now, considering 0-1.
I'll take it.
All right, Neil.
I've got the same. That this is from a couple weeks ago. What I've picked, I've got us at 4-2.
Okay, fair. I think it's highly likely, but I'm not going to do this a 3-peat. That's 4-2. That's dumb. So we're going to go 5-1. We're going to win the next 5. Yes, I said 5. We are going to score
a gajillion,
7 runs a game. So we're going to, in the next 5 games, we're going to average 7 runs a game, and we're going to end it with 35 runs in the next 5 games. And we're going to go 5-1, and we're going to put a little breathing room between the team up north and whatever you want to call those morons in the Northwest. So that's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. Anyone got any last thoughts?
I hope you're right. Yeah, and I want to send it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to send a shout out. One of our loyal listeners went to his 50th birthday party this weekend down in Wharton County, down in El Campo, Texas. Jason Lightcap turned 50 and got to hang out with a couple cousins who are also loyal listeners, the Leopold boys. So just sending a shout out to those guys who appreciate the Dome Foamers.
I love it. That's great. Happy 50th. Yeah, like, share, rate, review, tell your mom's mom, as we say every week. I do want to say one thing: Quinn Ewers for Heisman. And boys, as Dorton's shaking his head because he can't say anything back. Absolute bait. Absolute bait. Go Stros.
The U.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.